So first, uptrends or downtrends, we're gonna start with first, right? Downtrends. Now, we are going to look at this and we're gonna tell ourselves, this is a downtrend. Say this to yourself right now. This is a downtrend. You say it to yourself, whatever I'm looking at, so I'm you right now. Whatever I'm looking at, I'm going to see this as a downtrend. So repeat that to yourself. Whatever I'm looking at, I see this and it is a downtrend. That's first and foremost. Now, answer the question, why do I see this as a downtrend, right? This is where you start to learn. Now, a downtrend consists of lower lows and lower highs. So in this case, this is a lower high and this is a lower low, right? Why do we call this a lower low and a lower high? Now, first, you need to remember there is highs and there is lows, right? Right? These are two things that I look at. Lows, highs, lows, right? You start off with these, and this is what will determine if you get a lower high or a lower low. So let's say we have a low. In this situation, this will be a low, right? So this is our low. Let's just say this is our low. Why is this our low? So we're gonna backtrack and we're gonna show you this. I'm going to show you like this. This is our low. Why is this our low? Because price got to a certain point, it got to a certain decline, decrease, and it pivoted. So this is the lowest point we can be, low, right? This is the lowest point we can be. Also with the high, this is our highest point that we can be, right? This is the highest point that we can be. Now this is where you can identify trends. This is where you start to be able to identify trends, right? So with this low and with this high, we can now say, okay, price has reached a certain level and this is our low, this is our high. Now, how we can determine what a trend is because we'll get this, but then what comes next will determine the trend. So if we have this low and we have this high, if price breaks the low, right? If price breaks the low, this now becomes our lower low. Lower low. This is lower than the previous low. Common sense. Lower than our previous low, so this would make our lower low, right? Same thing with lower highs. So if our high is made and it is lower than the previous high, then this will be our lower high, right? This is our lower high. Now, from this point on, this is where the downtrend continues, or this is where everything will play into part. Later on, I'm gonna get into ICC, which is the way that I trade. It's a 3-step process that basically shows you how I enter, exit, and use a stop loss. All these terms will be learned later on down the line, but I'm just going to show you the fundamentals of a trend because you need to know this first. You need to learn how to dribble the ball before you can start doing crossovers, shimmies, layups, and fucking 3-point shots, right? So this is what you need to know first. So with this being said, we're gonna have our lower high, and then we're gonna have another lower low, lower high, lower low. So take your time to look at this. Let me go back. Take your time to look at this and say, this is a trend, this is a downtrend. Now, before I start showing you candles and stuff, we'll probably make that into another video, but before I start showing you candles, this is a downtrend. So go ahead and classify this as a downtrend, right? Downtrends. And this same way can be used. So we can take this, we can copy it over, and I'm pretty sure if I press, it just does that. But if we take this and we rotate it, I'm pretty sure I could do that with just this, but I guess it's not wanting to do it. I think it's just rotating the whole thing. But with this, we'll just start over. the same way will be an uptrend, right?